Hey y'all, I'm about to pay off $25,000 in consumer debt in 7 months, and I'm taking y'all with me. Let's do it. So, how I got here. I got here probably the same way as most of you have done as well. Spending above my means, life. So I've had car issues. I actually broke my ankle in 2021, March of 2021. So I have thousands of medical bills just from that. We actually had to put our dog down last month, and it cost thousands of dollars to figure out what was wrong, to actually go through with the process. I also signed up for a timeshare. I don't know why I did that. I got, let's just say that. But I am trying to correct that now. And I'll give you guys a little bit more information about that. So that's $10,000. And I also bought a water filtration system for my whole rental property. So unnecessary, in my personal opinion. And it definitely was like about another $10,000, but I paid off most of that. But that's still contributing to my $25,000 that I'm paying off by the end of this year. So now you guys know how I got here. So I was actually pretty lucky and fortunate for some of these. I was able to reduce the balances that I owed in random ways or another. So maybe some of these tips will help you guys. So one, for my timeshare, I'm getting out of it. Hopefully. I actually paid a company, their legal team, to take my case and get me out of it. And they actually only take cases that are, in their opinions, are guaranteed wins. And they offer 100% money back guarantee on it as well. So my timeshare mortgage was about $9,000, I think. And I paid them about $5,000 to get me out. So that's a $4,000 savings right there. And then also the maintenance fees that you have to pay annually are like $1,500, and then the fees if you want to roll points over. So they're saving me way more than $4,000. They can get me out. I'll actually show you guys who they are once the process is over. If anybody is having those kind of issues and has a timeshare, been wanting to get it out, if this actually goes the way I hope that it goes, I'll give you guys more details on that. And if it doesn't, I'll still give you details just so you know to avoid them. But fingers crossed that will work out. So that's going to reduce my timeshare debt by a ton. Another way that I reduce my debt, it's not the most conventional or the best way to go about things. I'm not recommending this to you guys at all. However, it has saved me a little over $1,000. My medical bills, I owed about probably $5,000. I paid off $1,000, so my balance over, like, I literally just paid this off yesterday. My balance reduced to $4,100, and it ended up going to collections. It went into collections because I was just taking too long to set up a payment plan. I had a point where I was making interest-free payments, and then I paid late a couple times, so then it started accruing interest. And I didn't know that for a little while. And then I called them to try and get it back to interest free. They were going back and forth with my hospital. Ended up going to collections, all in all. So I actually used to work at a collection agency though. And I learned while I was there that you don't really have to pay it back. I'm not saying that as any kind of financial advice. I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay off your debt if it went to collections. But I did learn, I remember being in my training class and like, why do people even pay us? Like, what do they get out of it? Because especially if it's already gone on your credit report, I mean, it might up your score a little bit if you pay it off, but it's still a derogatory mark and it's going to be up there for 7 years. So at that point, you might as well let it fall off if it's already on your credit report and it's going to be up there for 7 years, regardless if you pay it off or not. So you might as well just let it fall off. And then also, they're not going to sue you. They're not going to take any legal action towards you unless it's a large amount. Like, it has to be worth their legal team to actually want to pursue. So if you like $500, $1,000, maybe even a couple thousand, I don't think it's going to be worth it for them to sue you. I don't know, though. This is just what I think. And how I handle it. In my case, I wanted to pay off my debt. I didn't want it to go to the credit reporting bureaus, and it didn't. I got it before that. So I wanted to avoid that part. But something I did learn that these collections agencies, they will take settlements. You can you can ask for a settlement. Just call them and be like, hey, I want to settle this amount. And they'll tell you what they can do. If it doesn't sound good, negotiate with them. Because the person on the other side of the phone, they're just trying to get a percentage. They're just trying to get their commission on the deal. So they don't really care how much you pay. They just want to get something. So if you can settle it for 65% of the total balance, that's great. And that's actually what I got. Because I called them, did that, and I said, I want to settle. And they said, okay, the most that we can settle for this hospital that they will allow is a 35% reduction. I said, ooh, okay. So a reduction of 35% of a $4,100 medical bill is $2,670. And that's all I paid. So I saved $1,400 just by going to collections. I didn't do that on purpose, but my knowledge of me working at that collections agency saved me $1,400 that I can put towards other debt. Only catch was I just pay it by a certain amount of time. So I paid that yesterday, or 2 days ago rather, and I put some of it on my balance transfer card, which is my next suggestion and tip for me paying off my balances early. So I put the rest on my balance transfer card, which has 0% interest. So the money just rolled forward. However, I'm still not paying interest on it. So still like a win-win. So I'm taking advantage of the lower amount and still having more time to pay it too. So tip number 3, my balance transfer card. I chose to go with Citi. I looked at NerdWallet and they compare the different credit card balance transfer cards and all the different benefits and, pros and cons. And so I decided to go with Citi. I have really good credit, so I could, apply for just about anywhere. But, you want to go based where you think your approval odds are the best. So if you also want to go to Credit Karma, for example, they usually tell you if you have good outstanding chances of getting the credit card. I don't know how reliable those are because, like I said, I usually can get approved for most credit cards. But anyway, I chose to go with Citi. It had a 0% introductory rate for 18 months. And I thought that was perfect because this, the biggest balance I transferred over to this transfer card. So 0% interest rate for 18 months, but there is a 3% fee for doing a balance transfer within the first 3 months. And then after that, there's a 5% fee. So I transferred 2 balances. One was really smaller. I don't remember how much it was, probably a couple thousand. And the other one was probably like 14,000 or so. So I paid 3% on those balances, whereas the original credit card that I was transferring from was probably like 30%. So that's, if we do it annually, that's 27% interest that I'm saving just by doing this balance transfer. And I don't have to pay interest for those 18 months. So I have time to pay that off and pay other debt with interest rates and then move over to this. So I would highly recommend a balance transfer card if you can get approved and if it makes sense, of course. If you only have a small balance, there's no point in paying that small fee of transferring over. You'll still pay interest on your other card, but the amount will be minuscule. I only recommend that for pretty large balances. Well, the savings will be significant. So that's what I'm doing. I'm saving a ton of money on interest by using that balance transfer card. And I highly recommend those if you can get your spending in check. So that's how I, just little ways that have helped me reduce my balances owed. So now I want to show you guys some steps that I have taken that I strongly recommend everybody take when they're paying off debt. 5 steps, okay? So the first one, you got to fix your spending habits. There's no getting around it. You've gotten to where you are. I got to where I am because of my spending habits, and no matter how much money I throw at debt, if my spending habits don't change, it's a never-ending cycle. I'm paying off my balance, and I'm paying off a portion of my balance, and then I'm adding the same amount back I was doing that for at least a year. I just kept doing it. So one, you got to fix your spending habits. So no more using your credit cards. You have to stop using your credit cards for this to work. So no more using your credit cards, no more spending above your means. You got to create a budget and stick to it. Whatever you allocate towards fun, food, debt, that is where you are. That is where you need to stay. You can move money around within your budget, but keep the same amount paying towards debt and don't increase your debt. That's a big no-no when trying to pay off debt. Why would you increase it? That doesn't help. You should only be seeing your debt going down. So that's one. Fixing your spending habits is huge. If you can get your spending habits in check, you've already done, I'll say, 45% of the battle, right? Like, that is the biggest part, is getting your spending habits in check. And that's also one of the hardest parts. So if you can get that together, you're off to the races, okay? All right. Step number 2, laying out your debt. Information is the single most important thing to making progress, in my opinion. You need to know where you are at to know where you're going. There's no way to make a plan, to say you're going to do this, make a budget without seeing where you're at first. You need to figure out how much income you have, what your expenses are, your debt, all that. So part of fixing your spending habits and getting a budget is laying out your budget, right? So another step forward, not just your budget, but figuring out your debt. So I have something that I use. I'm going to show you guys. It is called my debt summary. So that's essentially all it is. It's just a summary of all my debt. As you can see, I'm even including my mortgages here, which make it look way worse than what it actually is. I'm not too concerned with paying off my mortgages. One is a rental property and the tenant pays me for it, pays it for me. And the other one is my primary residence, so it'll get paid when it gets paid. I actually want to convert this property to a rental property too. Something we'll talk about a little later. But yeah, so I got my credit cards, my student loans, my personal loans. My medical bill was on here. Well, it's right here, but I paid that off yesterday, so that's not going to be going forward anymore. And all my other credit cards. So I have them separated by debtor. I also have my interest rates and my monthly payment amounts. So pretty much I have a set amount that I can allocate towards debt a month, and that's this total amount right here, right? So I set up how much I can actually put towards debt. I set that up when I'm doing my budget. I'm like, all right, I can do this amount a month. So $3,100 is what I'm doing for June, right? So in June, I am going to pretty much just start allocating the amount. So step number 3, while you're doing this, these kind of flow together, but as you're creating your debt summary, you need to be considering step number 3. And step number 3 is pretty much choosing a debt payoff method. And there's 2 that I know of. There might be more, but there's 2 that I know of and that are pretty popular. So one is the debt snowball method. And pretty much what the debt snowball method is, you have all your debts listed out, all your credit cards, student loans, whatever have you. And you will pay the minimum amount for each of those, except for the one with the smallest balance. Now, the one with the smallest balance, you're going to throw whatever you can at it. So for example, if we're using my $3,100, for example, here, the minimum amounts are like $150, $50, whatever. I'm going to pay those for these credit cards. But this one right here with the smallest balance, I'm going to throw everything I can at that one until it's paid off. And once it's paid off, woo, good for you, great victory. But you need to then take that amount and pay it towards the next smallest balance, and then the next one, and the next one. And that's the snowball. So the amount keeps increasing, and you're knocking out debt. Once you get it going, once you start paying stuff off, it's easy. It'll come easy. So that's the debt snowball method. And then the debt avalanche method, which actually is the method I'm using, is exact same thing as far as you pay the minimum payments on each balance, except instead of going for the smallest balance with debt snowball, you're going to attack the one with the highest interest rate, right? So I do this because I want to pay less interest over time, and I don't need the small wins to keep me disciplined. When I actually set my mind to stuff, I'm a very disciplined person. So, and I like numbers. I'm a CPA. So I don't need the small wins. So I'm focused on the highest interest rate, paying that off first. So I pay the least amount of money over time. So it's up to you to figure out what works for you. But I would actually recommend probably start, unless you're like me, unless you're like type A personality, you like numbers, I would recommend going the debt snowball method first. Just so you get that energy, that motivation, that adrenaline of paying off something. Like once you pay off something, you know, give yourself a treat. But it's very motivating. It's like, ooh, I can actually do this. I want to keep doing it. So you can start off there, and then as you like get disciplined and you're like, this is easy, I'm doing this consistently, then I would convert over to the debt avalanche method. So you pay less interest over time. But the point is to be consistent with that, right? So that's also step number 4. Be consistent. You fix your spending habits, you've laid out your debt, you've chosen your method, and you're off to the races, right? But you gotta be consistent. I know things pop up. That's also why you kind of want to have a certain amount set to the side, like an emergency fund. I know most people don't have that, but that'll be another video where I detail, you know, the steps that you need to go through. So assuming you have that, and anything that pops up, you can use that instead of putting stuff on your credit card. That's great. But like I said, so just be consistent. Attack. Whatever you can throw at that debt, throw at it. Whatever you can pay towards the smallest balance or the highest interest rate, throw all that you can at it to where you're still able, you know, to enjoy all the great things that life has to offer. But also, you know, you will have to sacrifice some, right? Like it's inevitable. If we didn't have to sacrifice to pay off debt, a lot of people would be debt free, right? But we do have to make large, I don't know. You got to make some sacrifices, all right? Don't sacrifice too much though, to where this is hard to keep up with, because you want to be able to enjoy the little things here and there, you know? So I highly recommend that. Sacrifice some, but don't sacrifice all, or else you won't be consistent. You'll just give up and you'll go right back to your old habits. So try and treat yourself when you do pay something off too, you know? Yeah, I would definitely recommend treating yourself, because you deserve it. If you pay something off, if you made any kind of progress at all, you got to halfway through where you want to go to your goal, treat yourself. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just treat yourself, because you deserve it. This is a hard thing to take on, and you need to treat yourself in the meantime. I actually told my friends last year when I set out on this journey, because I've been on it for this whole year. I texted my friends, you know, this next year, I'm about to be paying off debt. That's all I'm about to be doing. I'm not going anywhere. It's a no for me. I haven't traveled this whole year. I'm not going to travel anywhere else except for Friendsgiving. I'm really excited about that. But other than that, I'm sticking to it. That's the only way that I'm going to get here. So right now, I'm on step 4. Being consistent, paying it off, I'm making progress, right? So step 5, which is the step I'm working on getting to. Also, make more money. It's inevitable. You have to make more money when you're trying to pay off debt. You don't have to, of course. Like, it'll just take longer. But if you want to get it done quicker, you have to make more money. So, as you can see in my debt summary, you see my payments are going up in August. That's because I'm expecting a raise. All right. I can't tell you how much, what I'm trying to get with this, but I am expecting a raise in August. And so with that raise, the extra money is going towards my debt. All right. So like I said, anything new that comes up, attack your debt with it. So I have that raise, and I'm trying to figure out ways to make passive income that don't take too much time to get into or any real money to start also. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I have a couple ideas, and once I actually get and stick with something, I'll let y'all know. But I would recommend, if you guys are interested in finding different side hustles and different things you can do to make passive income, I would recommend you guys check out Journey with the Hintons. I believe that's their name. Black lady. She goes through different side hustles that she's discovered through different areas, and she actually tries them out for you to make sure if they're legit or not, and shows you how to do it step by step. I've been watching her, and there's a couple that I want to implement that she's shown that I think would be very helpful for making some more money passively. Not completely passively. You got to do some work, but for the most part passively. So I would definitely recommend checking her out and just finding something to make more money, whether it be Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instacart, any other kind of delivery services. You get your notary license, start a notary business on the side. There's so much stuff that you can do to make more money. There's no reason to not try to make more money. You can get clients, offering whatever service you want. My mom, she pays me $100 a month to budget her life expenses, pay off her debt, do her taxes, all that stuff. So, just, it's only $100, but it's $100. It's $100 that will go towards my debt or towards my savings or something. So I would highly recommend doing something like that. So those are our 5 steps. 1, we have fix your spending habits. 2, we have lay out your debt, see where you're at, use the information to help you. 3, choose your method, debt snowball, where you're paying off the smallest balance first, or debt avalanche, where you're paying off the highest interest rate first. 4, be consistent, attack, sacrifice some, but not all. And then step 5, where I'm trying to go, is make more money. Make more money and throw that extra money towards the debt. This is going to be hard for me. However, I am committed to the cause. I am committed to being debt-free by the end of this year. And I'm going to be debt-free, consumer debt-free outside of student loans by the end of this year. And then I'm going to attack my student loans. And I'm trying to be debt-free outside of mortgages before I turn 33, which is in like 2.5 years, 3 years. So I'm trying. I got $75,000 in student loan debt that I'm trying to pay off in like 2-3 years. So these are my goals. And like I told y'all before, when I make goals, I accomplish them. And I'm going to accomplish them. And I want you guys to be with me. I'm taking you either way. So you might as well strap in, enjoy the ride. Let me know how you guys felt about my debt summary. Like I said before, I want to like detail it a little bit more and then offer it to you guys if that's something that you would be interested in, so you can get to your step 2. Something else I didn't mention, for step 1, I have a budgeting app that I use. I use Every Dollar Budget. It's Dave Ramsey's budgeting app, and I use it for free. I don't even pay the premium to link it to my bank account. I just go in and update my transactions. It takes more time, but I don't want to pay the money. So there's that. Oh, and a little side note or a little extra tip. Go through your subscriptions. Go through your subscriptions and cancel what you're not using. 15, 20, 8, 9. That adds up monthly, especially if you're not using it. Like, I have Disney Plus I don't use. I'm about to cancel. I cancel my Netflix, my Peacock. Like, I don't even use it. I really just be watching YouTube like that. So, and then, family and friends stuff. But yeah, I'm canceling just about all my subscriptions, which is saving me like $50 a month. Something to go towards my debt. Not a lot, but it's something. This stuff starts to add up over time. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you are interested in me providing that debt summary, let me know. Comment debt summary below. Like the video, comment debt summary below. And if I get 10 comments with debt summary, I'll release it. It'll be for a very small fee, but the first people that also comment debt summary, I'll give it to y'all for free. I don't know. I'm just trying stuff at this point, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. So comment debt summary below if you are interested in purchasing this or getting this for free. If this is something that looks good, you think will help you, I'll definitely do it. This is something I created for myself, and I've been using it for a couple years, and it's gonna help me get debt free, and I would love to help you guys get debt free too. So comment debt summary, or let me know how much y'all trying to pay off by the end of this year. I told you my number. Y'all saw my financial stuff. Well, how much are y'all trying to pay off by December 31st, 2024? We gonna support each other, all right? We gonna get here together. And I'm thinking about dropping these monthly so I can show you guys my progress, how I'm doing. Hopefully nothing big comes up in this time frame. But yeah, that's where we at with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all for liking, comment, sharing, subscribing. Subscribe to the channel. Please get me out there in these YouTube streets. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all Memorial Day weekend. Bye.